Good evening, Madam President Zonta Simin Akhtar, and my panel speakers, Professor Nasheed Kamal and Barrister Rizwana Yusuf. I'm Zonta Tutli Rahman, Chairperson of Advocacy and today's moderator. Zonta Worldwide is doing a 16 days activism. Speak up and take a stand with us to end violence against women and girls. Change starts with you. As people stayed home to stop the spread of COVID-19, reports of violence against women and girls began to rise. This 16 days activism is to show us to stand with survivors and their rise to justice. A short introduction about myself. I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in women's rights, also a TV personality and instrumental in founding two organizations. One is Wings, a support group for women, and the other is Bangladesh Heritage Crafts Foundation to promote, revive and restore our declining heritage. I mostly train women artisans with new ideas and designs so that they can be economically solvent. I've been with Zonta for over 20 years now, twice president of Zonta Club 1, and the Centennial President of Zonta Greater Dhaka, last biennium, 2018 to 2020. I would firstly like to take pride to introduce our esteemed President, Dr. Simin Akhtar, who will say a few words about herself and about Zonta's goals and 16 days of activism. Dr. Simin M. Akhtar.
Thank you so much, Zonta Tutli Rahman. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to everybody. I am Simin Akhtar, President of Zonta Club of Greater Dhaka. I welcome everybody to today's webinar on Zonta International's 16 Days of Activism against Gender-Based Violence against Women and Children. About myself, I am a graduate of Dhaka Medical College and went on to get a degree in nutrition, a master's degree from King's College London. I did my MPH, went on to get a degree in tropical medicine, and further on another degree in health sciences management. I had the opportunity to travel all over the world and worked in places like Georgetown Medical Center in England, in New York, and also in Bangkok General Hospital. During my journey or career in Dhaka, it was with Apollo, now Evercare, for almost 8 years as general manager there. And subsequently, I'm now here in Prava Health as senior medical director. A little bit about Zonta. I'm sure everybody knows about it, but just to recap, Zonta was basically founded in 1990. 1919 in USA, Chicago, Illinois. You can well understand at that time, things were different. And a group of businesswomen started this organization with the concept of standing up for women's rights. Zonta basically stands for advocacy for equality, education, end to child marriage, and end to gender-based violence. Zonta has expanded these opportunities, especially to women and children, especially girls. The international education programs and service projects are major sources for them to address these issues. During 1930, there was a confederation of clubs of Zonta. Before that, it was a single club. And now, at the moment, we have over 31,000 members in 65 countries. We are very proud to say that our president of Zonta International, Zonta Sharon Langenbach, she's an aeronautical engineer actually, a very accomplished lady. So there are things to be proud of in Zonta, and we need to share with the public that what does 16 days of activism against gender-based violence mean? So this campaign started in 1919 also, and the day it starts is 25th of November, which is officially the International Day for Elimination of Violence against Women. And it runs till the 10th of December, which is celebrated as the Human Rights Day. Every year, when the 16 days of activism starts, there is a theme. In 1919, the theme was violence against women violates human rights. And now in 2020, the theme is Orange the World, Fund, Respond, Prevent, and Collect. I think these are wonderful themes to work on. And now I will hand over to our moderators, Zonta Tutli Rahman, to start the main attraction of the program, the discussion with our panelists. Thank you so much, Madam Tuti Rahman.
Thank you, President Dr. Simin, for your insight on Zonta's goals in 16 days of activism. Well, time to begin the webinar. We have amongst us two prominent women. One is a celebrity, Professor Nasheed Kamal. The other very, very prominent barrister, Rizwana Yusuf, who deals with women rights, one of her main fields. First, I'll give a short introduction about Professor Nasheed Kamal, and then after about the barrister Rizwana Yusuf. So Professor Nasheed Kamal, so we begin with her. She is an academic. Her field is demography. She has taught in universities in UK, USA, and Bangladesh. She's a Nazrul exponent and an author. And now a short introduction of Barrister Rizwana Yusuf, an advocate of Supreme Court of Bangladesh. She also holds a master's and honors in English literature. She's a resource personnel for human rights, nationally and internationally. She provides pro bono legal services to the disadvantaged, especially violence against women. Presently, she is the executive director of ASES, a non-profit organization to help visually impaired girls to teach them skills and earn a living. So we begin with the question and answer session. Firstly to Nasheed Kamal. Madam President, can I ask the first question? Is it possible?
Yes, please. Thank you
so much. So for Nasheed, did you ever face any kind of sexual harassment in the University of Bangladesh? That's the question to Nasheed Kamal, please.
Thank you, Tutli, for inviting me as a panelist, and I'm very honored that this is a very special session of the Zontians, and gender against violence is featured here from the 25th of November. Very nice to meet Dr. Simin and Barrister Rizwana as well. Yes, I did face harassment, sexual harassment at work, and this was in the North-South University. This was in the year 2012. So it was a very bitter experience where the chairman of the board of trustees, he suddenly asked me to go and see him in his room. And when I met him personally, he just made a very, very bad proposal, sexual proposal to me out of the blue. Not that I had any friendship with him or there was premises to make such an offer. And when I revolted and I said that you are insulting me, I'm a professor in this institution. I didn't come by any back door or, this is a professional place of work and you cannot speak to me like this. So I left the room. And this was in September. And the next 3 months, there were some texts from him which said the similar things. And I didn't bother to answer. I thought once you refute it, probably it will go away or it will die its own death. I was myself 54 years old. Already I had taught 33 years. I started my career in Dhaka University, 10 years there, and many years in IUB and many years in USA and UK, as you have already mentioned. And I didn't think that somebody would make such an indecent proposal to me. And I found it very embarrassing to discuss it with anybody. Then in January of 2012, when all our contracts are to be renewed, the VC called me to his room and he said that, I'm sorry, Nasheed, there is a letter from the Board of Trustees chairman. His name is Mr. Shah Jahan, and has anything happened between the two of you? Then I gave a short answer and I said, yes, but that's personal, nothing to do with my work. And he said, no, it has something to do with your work. We are going to terminate you. And then I said, why are you going to terminate me? Because I'm in a contract, I need reasons for termination. So he called the dean, Donald Gomez, who was a professor of biology, and I was meeting him every single day in the morning, having tea with him every day. He came to the VC's room and he said that the students have complained that out of 20 classes last semester, I have attended only 3 classes. And I was very bad in English, and the students don't understand what mathematics and statistics I was teaching them. So I said, Mr. Dean, this is very bad that you are letting me know after 20 classes. If I have missed 1 class, if you are the dean, you should have let me know right away that you are missing classes and the students are suffering. Why did you wait for 20 classes and 3 classes taken by me? I knew it was a lie because I've been attending classes. So he said to the VC, he said, this lady, she goes on TV and she's acting here now. Acting korteche, natok korteche apnader samne.
Unbelievable.
And the VC, he's like an elderly person and he's also employed by the Board of Trustees. So he said, gentlemen, calm down, calm down. Nasheed, you go to your room. So I came to my room and I just vacated my job. I gave resignation. I was really scared because the students phoned me and they said they were being prevented from meeting me. Other teachers, some of them my friends, my colleagues, my juniors, people whom I had recruited through advertisements, they said, Madam, we've had instructions from above. Our jobs are at stake. We cannot come and meet you. You're all alone in this pursuit. So I had heard from a friend of mine, she was working in the same university in the English section, that this same gentleman had earlier, I heard this afterwards, after he had approached me, had earlier approached somebody in economics and somebody in English, and those young girls had to leave the university. They were crying, they were afraid to face this kind of sexual harassment, and they had to leave their positions. So I looked them up and I asked them if they were willing to write something to the University Grants Commission. And because I was going to file in a petition that this was happening in North-South University. And other than that, the teachers there, they were accepting extra bribes for, doing the thesis, for doing many of the favors. So I was seeing some very wrong things happening there, and coupled with my own experience and determination, I wanted to write something to the Prime Minister as well as the Education Minister as well as University Grants Commission. But those young ladies, I'm sorry to say that our society makes them, becomes crippled by these situations. They said, no, we have husbands, we have young families, we cannot give out our names. That that is good enough. So I went ahead and I just wrote the complaint on my own. There was an investigation. And in the investigation, I heard that the Education Ministry was bribed, and there was a report that nothing like this had ever happened. And it was hushed up. It came out in the Daily Star that one eminent person from a very eminent family has complained about Mr. Shah Jahan, but all these complaints are a lie. It was my word against his, as happens in most of the sexual harassments. So I thought I would get job in some other institution wherever I tried. That's the strength with which I had left my university. I was the chairman there. And like Dr. Simin, I had my PhD from School of Hygiene, Tropical Medicine, where you did your master's in public health. And I've never stood second in my whole life. I've always been a topper all through my career. I thought I would find a job. But I found out from other VCs, including Jamilur Reza Chaudhary, that they had a VCs get together, and there Mr. Shah Jahan had badmouthed me, saying that I had approached him. Now, why would I want to approach somebody? Anyway, all the university people who were VCs over there, they were afraid of taking me in. And since then, I've had no job. I've tried everywhere. And for 8 years, I have had no job.
Sad.
It has been very sad. Yeah, I'm laughing now because I have this inner.
You've gone ahead with life.
And I have this inner strength to understand that things like this will happen to strong women, because they don't like that we can stand up and oppose them, and they can put you down. I put up in the Facebook. Everybody got to know his name. His family got to know. Everyone was shamed also through this, and they tried to take me off my job. But God is all merciful. I got other directions, and I published 16 books in the meantime, and many translations of poet Qazi Nazrul Islam, which has given me immense strength, if not money, but whatever.
Doesn't matter. I'm so proud of you, Nasheed, for
Thank you.
being here and opening your heart out and telling us everything about what happened. It was quite a while ago. I did hear about it, but today I heard the details about it through you. And
Yes.
It's really sad that people of your stature can face something like this. What about the ordinary people who come in, women, and what do they have to face? I don't even want to think about it, but I will ask you later on what is their way, because you had other things to fall back on, but others don't have things to fall back on, so it's so difficult. So now you are an excellent exponent. You sing so well, but I want to know, in this cultural field, have you ever faced any sexual harassment?
Totally, that I'm the granddaughter of Abbasuddin Ahmed, and when I entered television, I went with this huge background behind me. So I myself, on a personal level, I didn't face any kind of harassment. But I know of many women in this field who have faced harassment. And very lately, Aki Alamgir, one of our very beautiful and very admirable singers, she was on television and somebody from the audience made a very awful,
Very rude remark.
a very rude remark about her. So can you imagine the producers? I get to hear from young aspiring talents that either the producers want sexual favors or they want cash and kind. And
Yes.
this is very, very rampant. Even though I have not had personal experience, I can sympathize with them. And what you said at the beginning, that if someone like me who has had so much exposure and so much confidence in everything, it was with that thought that my father advised me that you should write to the Prime Minister, you should write to the University Grants Commission, because I knew that 35 years in service, maybe I would be working a couple of years further. But what about the newcomers? What about those who cannot face this situation? There has to be a note of dissent somewhere, even if it is not resolved right away. People will remember that this kind of thing had happened in North
Well,
South.
justice will prevail, I'm sure.
Justice will come someday or
And
the
we
other.
will all be with you together so that justice prevails, because we
Thank
cannot
you.
just
And not
keep
not
quiet.
only me, those young women and scholars who come to give out their best, they are impeded by such things.
Thank you so much. Now I'll hand over the microphone to Dr. Simin, our president, and she will ask you a few questions.
Thank you so much, Zonta Tutli. Professor Nasheed, I was wondering, since you were mentioning about the university environment, you were a professor, such a brilliant student, and an academician for so many years, with a reputation from a big a background. What about the girl students who are there, meritorious, but who do not have that background? What is your knowledge of how they are faring at the universities?
I am very sad. It's a very pertinent question, Appa. I'm very sad to say that I used to have master's thesis and contact hours, 3 hours of contact every week, which means 1 hour. And I would find that 50 minutes are gone in hearing their personal stories. They are harassed by the male teachers at North South University. Their grades are hampered. They're asked to get into relationships. See, once the chairman of the board of trustees behaves like that, then everyone follows. Bado guru je dike jai, choto guru she dike jai. So you turn a blind eye to one thing. So students are very much harassed, and they would come, they would complain, and this has been an ongoing thing.
Very sad, very sad. Thank you so much for that. The second thing was, this is not only happening in an environment where education, which we think is the most important thing for development of a human being. What about in the family environment, at home? What is your opinion of the domestic violence that's happening?
For this 35 years of teaching experience, starting from Dhaka University, I started in Dhaka University in 1982 when I finished my master's from Canada. That was so long ago. And I myself was so young and inexperienced. I would hear from my female colleagues as well as my students that they are harassed at home. They are told not to come to the university, not to complete their degrees. In those days, we didn't have computers. We used to have calculators. The husbands would not buy them calculators. They would throw away their thesis into tear it up and throw it away. And then when I went away for PhD, came back and started in the private organizations, I thought maybe the direction has changed. Maybe the society is seeing another generation of students who are permitted to, achieve high goals, but I'm afraid they are not. The mother-in-laws, the husbands, the families of the young female members, students coming in, face a lot of domestic violence. Finally, sometimes I was forced to say, let us only talk about our thesis, because it would also dampen me. And how much advice can I give? I cannot change her entire situation. They lack that kind of confidence also.
Absolutely. I think that environment also has to be available in the universities for them to reach out to somebody. They found somebody they could trust in you. Thank you so much for that.
Most welcome.
If you could
I will probably ask another question, if I may. Nasheed, what is your evaluation of the high rates of rape, women's atrocities at home and abroad? If you can just give us a little brief.
Yeah, we are seeing all these figures. The Delhi crimes in Netflix tells us what is happening in India, and in America we are seeing all the newspapers are carrying this story. So a woman, she has to know how to become a person, and for this she needs confidence from her family, and her family should also know it's time for the families to raise the men, raise the boys with proper attention. They must respect their female siblings, their mothers. They are used to seeing women being treated badly, and they carry that on throughout their lives. And this is the result of what we get, that women are taken as second-class citizens. It should never be like that.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Nasheed Kamal, for briefing us on your experience and also about your knowledge about what has been happening in Bangladesh, your personal experience definitely of not only you, but other women who's come to you for jobs, and they've also been harassed. But I know you can only do that much and you can't do more. But if you all join hands together, that is the main purpose of being not only with Zonta, being with any women organization, that you join hands together and support each other. I feel more women organizations should join hands and do something together to help these kind of situations. But I think in future we'll make an effort to do that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say?
So that would be very nice. Even now, I get messages from people who were my field workers that things are happening in their villages, and for me to tell Channel Ekattur or some of the channels, it's very difficult to reach them out. It would be nice for Zontians to have a platform from where they will be able to reach out to others. That would be a very good thing to do in future.
Well, I'll leave it to Dr. Simin to think about it, and we'll definitely talk about it in our meetings, and I'm sure we can do something, or we will definitely try to do something. Thank you so much, Nasheed. And now we'll go over to Barrister Rizwana Yusuf. A question from both Dr. Simin and me. So if it's okay with the Madam President, I will ask the first few questions and then hand over the microphone to our President, Dr. Simin. So Barrister Yusuf, are you ready? Rizwana
Yes.
Yusuf.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I can see you.
Okay.
How would you define rape from? Okay. How would you define rape from a legal perspective?
Appa, there is two definition under our law. One as defined in the Penal Code of Bangladesh, which is like written in 1875 during the British regime. That's a man who is committing rape. What is rape? Rape will be without her will, the victim's will, consent, and if she is below the age of 16 or 14 and is forceful. So that is under the penal code. And then in 2000 we had another law, that is Nari o Shishu Nirjatan Daman আইন, সেখানে 9 এক ধারায় রেপকে এভাবেই ডিফাইন করা হয়েছে। এবং that is also include that one additional line also included, or para, that if you promise a girl, make a commitment, and if you make a physical relationship with her, with giving her the confidence that I'm going to marry you, and later you cheat her, that is also come under the definition of rape. So that's the definition of rape as per the law of Bangladesh.
So is that the present Bangladesh scenario, and what is the present scenario of Bangladesh government at the present moment? Is it the same?
Yes, because this is the penal code law, which we follow at the court, and or for judiciary we follow the penal code and Nari o Shishu Nirjatan আইন অ্যাক্ট 2000, এবং আরেকটা অ্যাক্ট পাস হয়েছে লাস্ট ইয়ার, নারী ও শিশু সহিংসতা আইন। তো there are many laws in Bangladesh. আমাদের দেশের মতো ল খুব কম দেশেই আছে। So the woman, if she is a victim of domestic violence or rape, there are many laws to protect her. But the problem is that we are not aware of those laws. Another thing, that how to execute that law, the lawmakers, they need to be aware, they're aware, but they need to be very supportive. And you have to have that environment that so that you can talk, you can like tell what happened with you. It's not very easy for a rape victim to talk about what she gone through.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you one further question. That is, Dr. Nasheed Kamal just told us about her personal experience in her workplace. Have you ever had any personal experience where you have been harassed or sexually or otherwise in your workplace? If you can just give us some, just share with us your experiences, if you don't mind.
I was starting from my present workplace, that is Supreme Court of Bangladesh. So এখানে আপা পরিবেশটা এমন যে I started thinking myself that I am a lawyer, I have no gender, because একটা মেয়ের দিকে তাকানোটাই ডিফারেন্ট। আপনি কিন্তু শুধু আপনাকে শরীর দিয়ে ধাক্কা দিবে, that is not only like sexual harassment. আপনাকে কিন্তু they are harassing you through their eyes, they're eating you.
Ogling.
They're like coming to my room just to see me. এটা everyday আমার সাথে হয়। Just see me, বসে থাকছে, কথা বলার চেষ্টা করছে, আপা কেমন আছেন, ভালো লাগছে দেখতে, আপা শাড়িটা সুন্দর, which I feel very মানে low যে this is not the place to talk about আমার শাড়ি একটা পুরুষ বলছে।
Absolutely.
মানে it's so annoying. And হয়তো আমার কলিগদের বলছে আপাটা এত সুন্দর কেন, আপাকে তাকাতে, মানে একটা বয়স্ক লোক বলে যাচ্ছে। So these are all apa harassment, comes under harassment, but I have to let it go, because আমি যদি এভাবে থাকি যে না কেন হলো এটা হলো, আমি বাঁচবো না, আমি কাজ করতে পারবো না। আর আমি পিছনের দিকে যাব, আগে বলি যেমন বৃষ্টির দিনে we have a like আমাদের যেখানে আমরা গাড়ি থেকে নামি ওই পোর্চের নিচে খুব ভিড়, তো তাকিয়ে তাকিয়ে মাথা থেকে এরকম করে, মাথা থেকে পা পর্যন্ত এরকম করে দেখতে দেখতে হাঁটছে, আর এদিকে ছেলে কিন্তু। So I told the guy, I'm still, listen, look at me first you look at me, ভালো করে দেখেন, then you walk. আপনি হাঁটছেনও না, আগাচ্ছেনও না, আমাকেও আগাতে দিচ্ছেন না, আপনি আগে you see me properly, then you go ahead.
Very good answer, thank you. Very good.
সবাই তো এটা পারবে না। আমার বয়সের সাথে, আমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্সের সাথে I have come to such a place that আমি এখন vocal, I raise my voice, I know I don't get support. আমি নাশিদ আপার সাথে একমত, you will not get support when you raise voice. People will go against you, or they will be scared that no, I just cannot do it because আমি চাকরি হারাবো, or okay তুমি গলা উঁচা করছো তোমারই দোষ ছিল, because you are a smart, you always smile, you talk nicely, you are very friendly, but that doesn't define my character.
Not at all.
That I smile, I am friendly, it doesn't mean I have no character or self-respect. Going back to about 2012, I joined a multinational energy company, the big giant of company of all over the world, that's Chevron Bangladesh. সেখানে আমার director ছিলেন, he was from Nigeria. And first few days I was okay, but first thing happened that he was going for his vacation. He came to me and he just gave me a big hug, a big tight hug. And it's such all of a sudden, because we are not accustomed with someone in my workplace giving me a tight hug. And then I was shocked that was happening. And then our office as manager, the girl, the office, each department has the office assistant. She's just telling me, just giving me the like, that no worries. Same thing happened with me. Okay, so I'm okay, I'm gonna miss you. Okay, have a like safe trip, enjoy your vacation. I just came out of it. Okay, he doesn't know about our culture probably. I took it in that way. Later, one day, one of my colleague, he's like he had a newborn baby, and on every Monday we used to have a team meeting. We were three girls, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, altogether 10 to 12 people. Every week, without any fail, not only in the team meeting, whenever he sees that person in front of us or in his room, does your wife do breastfeeding? It's very, it's a must, it's very, it's required for the child, it's good for child. Does she do breastfeed? Always that hard time. And we all were so like, we were expecting, why is he showing why he needs to do this
Acting it out. Acting it out.
হ্যাঁ মানে ওকে শো করতে হচ্ছে কেন যে does she and for 3-4 months we got so crazy about this breastfeeding incident, and I was about to kill that boy that if I ever hear this again from the boss, I'm gonna beat you. But what I'm gonna do, Appa, every time he sees me, he asks me this question.
How terrible.
And it's so like indecent and
disgusting.
আবার what's মানে ওর বউ ব্রেস্টফিড করে কিনা তোমার কি প্রয়োজন সেটা জানার, আর সেটা হাত দিয়ে তোমাকে দেখাতে হচ্ছে
should be beaten up. Yeah.
তারপরে then another colleagues and only আমাদের বয়সী but to senior হয়তো that the wife became pregnant, and he was not very happy about it because বসে যে বয়সে, and the wife is very religious and she doesn't want to like go for any abortion or just terminate this pregnancy, so he was not concentrating properly in his work. So the director asked me what's wrong. So after a few days the night I had to tell him that don't get him wrong, he is going through some personal problem. What he has to know everything in details. What personal problem? You ask him. Then I had to tell him that his wife is expecting and he is not very happy about it. Why didn't he inject it? It's not his. What? Yeah, it's his, but he doesn't want the baby now. But no. Didn't he inject it? Appa, just see and see. It's so disgusting, Appa. It's so disgusting because we
I'm laughing, but I wanted to beat him up. Yeah.
We didn't grow up in such an environment. I don't know what's the culture in Nigeria. He's a Nigerian guy, but he was from Nigeria, and this is the inject. So seeing this type of body posture or the signs, it's quite like shameful. You feel uncomfortable.
It's sexual harassment, absolutely.
Kind of, yeah.
It is harassment.
Another day, our team assistant, she has a birthmark here, this here. She touched it and said, "Is that your birthmark?" And the girl was shocked that, yes, this is my birthmark. But he's a director, what to do? Then once I complained that I was listening song, and he said, "You can't listen song with your earplug or hands-free." I say, why? Everybody, they do this. Okay, no, you cannot. Say, is it prohibited? Is it prohibited in the HR policy? Is it no for the employee? Well, it's not written, but wearing clothes for coming to office is also not written in the HR manual. No, মানে ঠিক বাংলা ভাষায় কাপড় পরে অফিসে আসাটা যেমন কোথাও লেখা নেই, সেরকম কানে হেডফোন দিয়ে গান শোনার কথাটা ওরকম এইচআর পলিসিতে লেখা নেই। বাংলা তর্জমা করলে আবার সেটাই হয়। And the way he said, it's like quite disgraceful. And then I went to HR director. I'm saying, this is it. I cannot take it anymore. That if I listening song, okay, he can ask me, Rizwana, don't listen song because this is office hour and you do legal work, and I get the legal department people is busy listening song, or because I was listening because we were working in the open office space, and I was trying to concentrate in my work, and listening song with the headphone, I didn't know that is a big deal for the legal department, because all over the office they were doing it. But the way he explained it, that it's not prohibited, the way it's not prohibited, or it's not written in the HR manual, the way it is not written that wearing clothes is also mandatory. So he used to use this sort of words.
It's unbelievable.
That's very disgraceful.
I think harassment is, in mostly, I won't generalize, but it's happening in most offices. And women, just because of their livelihood, because they have to survive, for whatever reason, they stay on and taking all this. And most of the time, they don't even open up. And I'm so thankful to you and Nashid Kamal for coming and sharing your experience. Now, I will go to another topic now. What do you have to say about the rapists and the rape victims? if you can say that a little bit.
Amateur যখন when any rape incident took place or taking place, what media they do? They directly go to that place, they show the area, and they try to take the interview of the victim. I don't think so we ever watched any interview in the television of a rapist. I want to see the rapist. I really want to see the rapist. I want to know him. I want to know his family, which family he belongs from.
Yes, absolutely.
Does he have
Bring
any
the whole
sister?
family
Where is his
there.
mother? Yes, because rape victim একবার তো she been raped, and now repeatedly you people are raping her reputation, her image, and taking her interview and talking about that incident. It's another mental harassment. Mentally, she been raped several times after that physical rape. Are going to police station, filing a like case of rape, then going for the medical test. And it's very interesting. If a girl is below 20, তার x-ray করে বয়সটা নির্ধারণ করা হয়, and আপনাকে করে দাঁত চেক করানো হয়. I really don't know দাঁত কেন চেক করে, এটা হয়তো ডক্টর সিমিন ম্যাডাম বলতে পারবেন. উপরে কটা দাঁত, নিচে কটা দাঁত, মানে আমি যখন জানলাম বা বুঝলাম, then I thought that is ওই যে গরুর দাঁত চেক করা আমরা শুনি না, কোরবানিতে গরুর দাঁত চেক করে যে, এটা কিন্তু মেডিকেল টেস্টের একটা প্রসেস। এবং মেয়েটাকে they take the girl for like DNA or 3-4 দিন পরে তার কিছু থাকে না, কিন্তু এই যে the interview that is prohibited under law, that নারী ও শিশু নির্যাতন দমন আইন 2000 section 14 দ্বারা is prohibited that you cannot disclose the identity of a rape victim, and এটা কিন্তু 2 বছরের জেল অথবা 50,000 টাকা জরিমানা অথবা both 2 years imprisonment or 50,000 taka fine or both. But every time when I see a rape victim, like they are taking interview of her or showing her
sad.
Where she lives, her location, that is prohibited by the law. But our like the law enforcement agencies, they need to take the step that no, the media cannot disclose it. But we need to see the interview of the rapist. That's what my experience. And the next work I'm going to start with the rape victim, because I know I was reading an article that is there any rehabilitation center? No, there is no rehabilitation center for women in Bangladesh. And yesterday I was reading one article, and the headline touched me that I'm living but I have no life. A rape victim was said that living and without life is such a like a touchy statement, and it's so true.
So many of them kill themselves also.
Absolutely. And one said that my in-laws, they don't want to eat with me. So many statements. If you search in Google, the many things you will come to know. So they are like not accepted by the family, neither by the relatives or friend circle. If they are not from the rural area, their life is finished. Even a very modern educated woman, if like me or Nashida, we will not even get support from the society. People will blame us. People will
it's very sad. The victim is always the woman. The victim is always the girl. My last question before I hand over to Dr. Simin, our president: what kind of legal protection or legal framework are there for a rape victim in Bangladesh? I've heard long time ago that once they're raped, they're sent to jail because that's security. Is there any shelter homes for them or nothing?
Officially, I searched, I inquired. There is no that type of shelter home for the rape victim.
It's truly very sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. And we have laws, so many laws. We have fantastic laws in Bangladesh. But who gonna implement it? Who gonna execute it? We need female police officer, a counsel, a professional counselor, and a lawyer in the police station with the rape victim, so that you can like counsel that woman or victim, and then the lawyer, a female lawyer, talk to her and get the story and write the story for her and file the complaint. Don't harass that victim any further. Stop. I would say that, okay, whatever happened, but from now on, no further
harassment
of a rape victim. and we should respect them. And I'm really would love to do something for them if I get the opportunity. But like we should bring them under one roof and establish them and make them a confident woman that face the world. Because you are brave. It's not your mistake.
We will talk about this in a little later. But before that, I will hand it over to Dr. Seemin for her to ask you a few questions, if that's okay. Dr. Seemin, are you there?
Yes. Thank you so much, Tutli. Barrister Rizwana, I was thinking that, as it is, these rape victims are suffering so much, and there are laws, policies by the government, and yet the media is the one who makes or breaks you. So what is happening in this scenario? What is the role that the media is playing? I'm sure there are people in the media who care, but why isn't something happening? What do you think is the reason?
I don't know, but my feeling is that we always prefer to talk with the media. I don't know why they want to highlight the victim. Why they don't think in that way, that why we should highlight the rapist? That what made you to do so? Okay, under the influence of drugs. Okay, that will be the answer. Or alcohol, whatever. But if it is happened, same thing happened with your sister or mother. So media now, the journalism itself is a very respected subject in every university, especially Dhaka University. But with all due respect, like presently the media, I think, is not the media we used to see before. I'm not blaming anyone, but we need trained people who are aware of the law, that they're taking interview of the rape victim. I can file a case against that person, that media person, that how can you took the interview of a rape victim. Okay, right. She was wearing burqa and hiding her face. The niqab was there, up to there. But I can see her eyes. The voice is there. I'm not supposed to know her anything. Why did you? We have to start something immediately, or taking action against the media. But the problem is that all the media will be together and they will run after me. That will happen.
I know.
That will be the end of you, Rizwana. Please don't do that. Okay? We have to keep the media extremely happy. We have to request them, because they can really move a break.
Right.
And if we are very nice to them, maybe they'll listen to us and publish a few things which you want them to write. Because media is the it person all over the world. So you have to keep them very, very happy. The rapist, yes, I want to kill the rapist. Please bring him to me.
That's what is needed.
That's needed. But media
they have a big responsibility on their shoulder, that they can make a difference. And এই জিনিসটা যদি ওনারা বোঝেন এবং accordingly কাজ করেন, I'm sure there'll be an impact. So that is the thing that we need to work on further. এইখানে কিন্তু I think there is a major role to be played by society. So Rizwana, আপনি কি মনে করেন? What is the role of society in the acceptance of a rape victim? কি করা যেতে পারে? কারণ এই যে শান করে দিচ্ছে, এদেরকে আলাদা করে দিচ্ছে, what should we do? Society রোলটা বলো।
What we need to do, আমাদের একটা shelter home is an urgent need of the hour, is a need of this hour, যে আমাদের immediate দরকার। এবং ওই মেয়েটাকে counseling করে, the victim, we need to give him the proper counseling, and then we have to find out that what she is good at. সবার মধ্যে আল্লাহ তাআলা কিছু না কিছু দিয়েছে। কেউ রাখতে পারে, কেউ সেলাই করতে পারে, কেউ হয়তো কোডিং শিখে ফেলতে পারছে। So we need to find it out and train her and establish her. So she does not need any other's help for her livelihood. And তার মধ্যে ওই কনফিডেন্সটা ডেভেলপ করা, that you start respecting yourself, start loving yourself. You don't need any man beside you. You yourself can face the world. So that, I think that is needed. That is needed at this moment. We need to start something for them, that if we
Build up the
and aware
confidence.
media, yes, confidence and aware media
Confidence
about
building.
the instead of rape victim, they must take the interview of rapists so that people get scared that okay, media will come and take my interview and my family will be exposed to the whole world. So people will be little. I think they will think twice
They
doing
will.
any
Yeah,
crime, such crime.
Sure.
I
So I
agree.
have no personal grievance against them, but if they just do the change their strategy, I think that will be wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Tutli, if you would like to ask.
I'll ask another question before I hand over the microphone to you again, Dr. Simin. I would like to know what is Rizwana's observation on a rapist society, punishment of a rapist.
As per the law, the president of Bangladesh, he just passed a new ordinance last month that is death penalty. But I would like to add a speedy tribunal, because you need to establish examples that he did it, and speedy tribunal just did the hearing and the trial complete within 1 and 2 months, and he'd been hanged. If you example 2-3 examples, then I have the feeling that yes, people will think not twice, 10 times before doing anything.
Well,
So,
I'll say one thing over here now, because we just had a conversation with he for she. There were two men, very prominent men that we know in the society. And one of them, I agree with death penalty, especially by hanging in public. So they will not do this at all. And it should be, believe me, I get so jittery about the whole thing. But he was saying that no, but he had a better idea and I liked it. If there was a potent injection that you just castrate him and he can never use his masculinity anymore, I think that would be great too. I would love it if that could happen. And because he didn't believe in death penalty. So whatever it is, either way, either by hanging, death, or by a potent injection, something that can lose their masculinity, and like he was saying castration, but I'm saying an injection. So that would definitely help, because we have to make these people feel really scared. He was saying in a different perspective that if you give death penalty, these people, rapists, will also kill the girl, and they will not keep any kind of evidence behind, because she's already murdered. So then the murder theme will come up more. You know, murder scenes will come up more. So you are the barrister. You know best what is good for.
I have one comment on it, because
Yeah.
I discussed this the proposal you had in your mind, but then someone said that then that person may become a psycho, and he might take revenge in different style or different way on another woman, and another woman can be a victim of or like different psychopath type of
Actually, you
attack.
know, we need ourselves a lot of trainings on these topics, and
Right.
people who are really interested to listen to it and who can do it. Should be media, it should be lawyers, it should be people who themselves have been harassed, it should be women organization. We should all get together and do a little talk on these topics. So what is the best way to solve this problem? Because this problem is eternal, it's been going on for ages, and we've got to see how we can lessen it. I will not say we can finish it, but we can definitely lessen it. Can I now hand over to Dr. Simin to ask the last question, please?
Yes, please. So, Barrister Rizwana, my question is a very general one now. As we from Zonta believe that violence and gender-based violence against women and children need to be addressed, and this has been going on for over close to 100 years now. What can we do from Zonta, do you think, that would make a little more difference? We are having these discussions. We are having these 16 days of activism. In addition, do you both have any suggestions that Zonta could do more? Thank you.
With the 16 days experience, what Zonta can do, that they sum up everything and then come with something like we are now at the edge of execution. We have had enough discussion. Now we want something executed, like something for them. Like I said, the rehabilitation center. for them a home, which they lost without doing any crime. Rape victim being punished by everyone. They are, it's not the rapist. I don't know whether you saw the picture that the police was taking selfies with the rapist that took place in Begum Ghat.
Yeah, we know that.
It's viral in the Facebook, and it's quite heartbreaking, heart-touching. That wow! But we need more information. I'm not upset about seeing their face, but my question: why don't we have the details of that rapist and their area where they reside, which jailer, who is the member of parliament of that area? We want to know details of that victim, that rapist. So
and make it really public.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And make it very public. That's where the media comes into the scene and make it very public.
Absolutely.
Is there any more question, Dr. Seaman?
And the action center can be like Zonta can extend their hand with some like public-private partnership type of thing, because for one organization it's not possible to organize or to execute such a big thing, but Zonta can like propose or approach someone very influential.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Tutli. Yes.
So, well, then I should end it over here. Thank you so much, Barrister Rizwana Yusuf. You gave a lot of insight on the laws of our country and also sharing your personal experience. I would like our President, Dr. Seaman, to say a few words to end before I wrap up. Is it okay with you?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. So, as we come to the end of our program today, I genuinely, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank both our panelists, Professor Nasheed Kamal and Barrister Rizwana Yusuf, for sharing their personal experiences, for giving us an insight into exactly what is happening in our society now, both abroad and at home, and defining the picture for us in a clearer way, actually where it is going even now. And I think we can say that it all starts from the family. It should, society has a major role to play. Start with your sons and brothers and husbands, so that we feel that we are teaching them the right thing, and empower your girls by teaching them to stand up for their rights. They must not be shy, they must not be scared, they must feel they can say what is right. So with these words, I'd like to say thank you to our panelists for being here, and thanks, of course, to all our club members who are working behind the scenes to make these sort of programs possible. Especially, I have to mention Aniza Chaudhary, who has worked tirelessly with our, last but not the least, our moderator and advocacy chair, Tutli Rahman. I never stop recognizing the value she brings to any organization. She is, I will say, invaluable to any organization. This program, these 16 days, she has conceived the plan, she has brilliantly executed all the details, and we are proud to have her with us. Thank you so much, Tutli, for organizing it on behalf of Zonta Club of Greater Dhaka.
Thank you so much, Dr. Seaman, our president. You've said a little bit too much about me, but I appreciate that. And wonderful working with somebody like you who is open-minded, who appreciates anybody who does good work. So before I just wrap it up, I'll just finish it just thanking again to the panelists, speakers, Professor Nasheed Kamal and Barrister Rizwana Yusuf, for coming to our webinar and taking time out from your busy schedule, speaking on newer dimensions and letting your hair down and sharing your experience. It was a very heart-touching and informative webinar. A big thank you again to Zonshan's Secretary Aniza Chaudhary for the tremendous logistics support, and of course our dear President Dr. Seaman M. Akhtar, who helped a lot for any queries or any support that I required. With that, we come to the end of the show. Hope to be again with you soon with new topics and new speakers on violence against women. Till then, it's a bye from me and from all of us. Can we see all of us now? Goodbye and stay safe. Thank you.